welcome to the User of Bricks channel. It is good to be back. Sorry for how long I have been away. I had to finish up my college quarter, and those 2 weeks were really hectic. And then right after that, I had a friend's wedding to attend. So yeah, enough of that. Let's get into this episode. This is the first out of 2 episodes for 3 episodes for procedures. This episode, we will be talking about some of the procedure blocks. I had previously already recorded this first episode alongside the second episode, which is the second half of all the procedure blocks. And it was all one recording, and then I went back over it and saw that the first 20 minutes, it was a 40-minute session, and the first 20 minutes, you couldn't really skip over anything, and it was super slow. The last 20 minutes are the second episode. So, yeah, and both this episode, and the second episode are coming out today because I have been gone for so long. Anyway, let's get into this hopefully short episode about procedures. To get to a procedure, as with everything, you click the add a new mod elements thing, and you can either click the hotkey P, or you can scroll to the very bottom and click procedure. With everything, you name it tutorial, and you create the new procedure. You can also go into most other elements to the procedure section in them that you can add procedures, and there will be a green plus there as well, so you can add the procedure from there. Anyway, so what I meant from the first 20 minutes for the first episode was slow is that I only went through world management, world data, and block actions, and then went through everything else in the second 20 minutes. Super slow first 20 minutes. So, yeah, I hope I can do a little better this time. Yeah, the third episode that I'll be doing will be about the template library that Mcreator has added in 1.8.1. And, yeah. So world management is the first one. And world management contains a bunch of different, what these are called procedure blocks. The first one is you spawn an entity at coordinates, current coordinates. That's what the X, Y, and Z mean. It's your current coordinates. So the current Z coordinate, the current Y coordinate, and the current X coordinate. You could switch these out with numbers, and you could have it happen at the same exact coordinates every single time. Or you could do a variation. You could also use math stuff. Oh right, I did go over math as well in that episode. So their math is numbers. This block, which has random 0 to 1, pi, e, infinite, negative infinity, and NaN. I'm not sure what that is, but the rest of them are pretty handy. Also, I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent and explain math real quick. So there's also this math addition block. You can also change it to subtraction, division, or multiplication. There's also this rounding math thing. You can round up, round down, square root it, absolute value it, meaning even if the included number is negative, it will come out positive. You can use a bunch of the different functions, trigonometric functions. You can change from degrees to radians, radians to degrees. Yeah, very versatile block. There's also number from text. It's really hard to explain how this works. So it has to do with GUIs or the chat. So, and you're getting a number from the text. And yeah. Anyway, back to world management. The next block that comes up is playing a sound at, again, relative coordinates, at the amount of sound, like how loud it is, and then which is the level, and then pitch is how high or low the sound will be. You can choose from all your custom sounds, and I believe vanilla sounds as well. And someone's coming in the door. Yes, Matea? Yeah, that's my sister coming through.
Hi.
Anyway, back to what we should be doing. The third block is placing a schematic. And this, you'll have to fiddle around with the X, Y, and Z coordinates to position your schematic exactly how you want it. But you can go from all your custom schematics that you've imported. And these work best if you use NBT files. Okay, next up in world management is exploding at. Exploding at, again, relative coordinates with a power. Now, the power tells how big the explosion will be. Whether it's going to be wither explosion size, the explosion size of, the wither heads that the wither shoots out, whether it's a TNT explosion. Yeah, you can go really crazy with that number. Next is striking lightning at relative coordinates. It's simple, lightning strike. So yeah. Next is spawning XP orbs. This is pretty much the amount of XP at the relative coordinates that you want to spawn. So with XP amount of 2 to whatever you want. You can also spawn particles at relative coordinates. I'm not sure what the VX, VY, and VZ means. I believe that's the vector amount, and you have to go to the texture that has all of the particles on it. No, that doesn't make sense, because you can select what one you want. I'm not exactly sure what the VY, VZ, and VX is. I wouldn't do anything with those and just choose from the all the vanilla particles. Okay, moving along, trying to be a little quick. You can also set the global spawn. Since it's world management, it's global spawn. In player management, there's also personal spawn, I believe. So, yeah. You can also change the time of day, and this is based off of ticks, I believe, just like the command in-game is. So, yeah. You can also spawn a gem, and a gem means the item version of a block. or an item. And it doesn't matter if it's vanilla or otherwise. And again, at the relative coordinates. You can also enable rain as well, and that's within an if statement kind of situation. You'll most likely learn more about that in the second episode. And along with this, since I'm having to re-record this first episode, if I miss anything, call me out in the comments so that I can upload a fourth episode about the different things I missed. So, yeah. You can also execute a command, and you type in the command without the slash. You can see that the slash is right there. You can send a chat to all players, and you type in your message. And yeah, that's the end of world management. Now there is also world data. Which is you get the amount what different things about the world that you're wanting. Like, what difficulty is it on? Is it day in the world? Is it raining in the world? Is it thundering? Is it air at relative coordinates? Can a block at relative coordinates see the sky? What light level it is at relative coordinates? The dimension ID of a provided world. That's a little more advanced than a lot of these others, but yeah. Is provided world server side? Is it on a server, or is it on a personal survival world? Single player, I mean. You can also get the indirect power of a block. I believe that is redstone power. So, yeah, and there are plenty of episodes out there explaining what indirect redstone power is on YouTube. So search those up. Next up, we have block actions. Now, a lot of these have to do with GUIs, and after this short series about procedures is done, I will most likely post a procedures episode, and we'll continue on through the end of the series. Anyway, you can place a block at relative coordinates or specific coordinates, as I have said before. You can also remove a block, meaning turning it to air at relative coordinates. You can remove a block and drop it in item form at relative coordinates. This means, like, if you're removing a diamond block, diamond ore, it will drop at the relative coordinates as the diamond item. So be wary of that. I'm not sure if that's supposed to happen, but yeah. Next is update/notify a block at relative coordinates. This is useful if you have a procedure on another block that is on the block update tick slot, and you want to update it, and it'll run that procedure at that block. Here's another thing that works with some stuff you'll learn with logic loops and logic operations, I believe that's in the next episode. If it isn't, call me out as soon as possible, and I will upload that immediately. Next is getting the harvest level of a block. That is whether the harvest level is 1, 2. It's a number. Like stone tools, I believe, are 1. Wood is 0. Your fist is also 0. Gold is 1. Iron is 2. And diamond is 3. So, yeah, I have explained that a bit further, what a harvest level means. I believe I've explained that in both the block element and the tool element. Okay, next one is about a GUI of a block. Setting an amount of an item in a certain slot number of a block at relative coordinates. You can also remove a number of items from a certain slot of a block at relative coordinates. You can also, again, deal an amount of damage to an item, again at a certain block at relative coordinates. You can also clear the slot, meaning no matter how many items are in the slot, it just clears it all of a block at certain coordinates. You can also get the type of item from a slot of a block at relative coordinates, and that one is more useful when you're creating like custom recipes, like and such for custom blocks. The Mcreator has actually made an episode on how to create your own custom crafting block, and I will link that into the playlist for this series, so that will be there. You can also get a number of items from a slot of a block relative coordinates. So, yeah, that's it. Yeah. Really quickly, I'm just going to skim over some logic and loops. No, let's do logic operations. Just because I'm not sure if I went over this in the second episode. If I do, this will just be covering it again. So there's equals, and this is all-inclusive. It pretty much does anything. You can put a number comparator into that, a string comparator into that, or a block comparator of either inexact or metadata value included. Or, yeah, you can also use the an entity, a subtype of another entity, or something along that. This just compares what type of entity the current entity is, this block here. And these two are item comparators, and these two are block comparators. Now, this block has different things in it, like equals does not equal, this and that, this or that, and this not or this. So, yeah, those can be rather interesting depending on how you use them. Also, this number comparator has what you'd expect. Equals does not equal, is greater than or equal to, is less than or equal to, and all of that. So yeah, this has been the first episode. I hope this was helpful. I hope you enjoy the second episode as well, as we go through all the other things. And then, yeah, beyond this, after we will be going into the template library. So subscribe and stay tuned for that. Also, click the notification bell and like the video if you did enjoy it or found it helpful. Yeah. See you next time.